Welcome back to Dave Doing Stuff, the Blacksmith series. This is episode 2 of me installing my new to me forge, blower, fan, bellows, whatever you want to call it, and custom made air diverter system for the forge. This is episode 2. Episode 1 will be linked above. It'll be linked at the end, or you can go back and watch it now if you want. I'm sharing every detail of the thought process because this is a very important part of blacksmithing I'm learning the hard way, and I might be able to save you some steps. Let's get started. So now the next step is to try and figure out how to make the whole thing work. I've got the diverter mounted on the fan. When the fan goes on, I have to control the diverter for the other side of the closet. So on one end will be the box where the fan is, and the other end, okay, on the other side of the closet by the forge, there's going to have to be a handle or a lever or control of some sort so that this goes like this. See this? It's not easy to hold it. Then when I move this lever here, or the flap, I guess if the flap moves, that should work. If I just anchor this and attach this to the handle, anchor this end and attach this to the flapper, that should work. I had imagined all kinds of linkage and hard things, and like I can't imagine how all the gizmos I would have had to gone through, but this should work. I just have to figure out how to anchor. The first step is to anchor them. If I take and run a saw cut right through here, wide enough, just enough for this cable to fit in, and I drill a hole at this end for this guy to fit in, like that. The bracket will be in there. Okay, that's going to work. Ho-ho! The next thing I have to do is these brackets. And before I can do the bracket, I want to try and figure out, I think I need to figure out how I'm going to make the flap work. I have to figure out how to make this part work, because the throw on this is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have to make something to attach to this that comes out and over. Okay, so I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it so that it does this. And then this. That's what I'm trying to do. If I can get a piece like that, it'll be perfect. Here we are the next day. I had to stop around lunchtime yesterday. It was such a productive morning. I had so much neat stuff happen, but we were going out of town, so I had to stop around lunchtime, get cleaned up, and leave. And I got to tell you, that's one of the best things you can do if you're working on a project like this, is just let things percolate a little bit. I had about 4 or 5 different ways I thought I was going to connect this cable to the frame and connect the end of the cable to the flapper and the lever and all those things, and I thought I had it all figured out. But along the drive, while I was driving, I was thinking about it. Last night when I went to bed, I was thinking about it, and I woke up this morning with a really elegant plan for 3/4 of it. The lever part, I'm still not 100% certain of how the lever is going to actually connect to it, but 3 of the 4 connections I got sorted out in my head now, and they're going to be just wonderful. And if you're a person who's getting a little bit older, looking for a change, looking to retire maybe, get yourself some kind of a hobby that you know nothing about, and get yourself doing things that you've never done before, because this is really fulfilling. It keeps your mind active. Problem solving is one of the ways I think we're going to keep our sanity as we get older. It's not physically hard, or you can make it as physically hard as you want to, but this is really kind of cool the way this is coming together for me. Let's get started for the rest of the day. The next step is to start making the brackets up so I can mount this cable. And this is a scale drawing of the box. And this line is the diversion flapper. That's what we're calling it technically now. And the back end of the flapper is where the pivot point is going to be. So I've drawn a line up in the direction, in the straight when it's closed, through the pivot point, and when it's completely open through the pivot point. And this is the travel that I have to allow for. And I think I'd like to have it as long as possible, because the longer the longer this piece moves, the more fine tuning I will have, more control I'll have on the flapper itself. If I just move it a little bit at a time, it'll jump a lot. I'm not sure I want that. So I'm thinking something like that is probably going to be about where I need for it to be. So I have to make a bracket to mount this piece to the box. I have to make a bracket to mount this piece to the flapper. And that's going to be that something similar to, it won't be exactly like, but it'll be something similar to this. I'll pick up a little bit. Oh, that's right, I'll pick up a little bit. Oh, I'm so glad I did that, because I'm going to have my like that, okay. Come up like that. All right, good. That's not a real problem though, you see, because I can have this piece on this side of the bracket. It doesn't have to be on this side of the bracket. That's good though. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is this one on the box. Second one will be this one. And then once I get that finished, then I have to go back on the other side of the closet and start working on the end by the controls for the lever. There we are. Wow! Check this out. I'm really tickled with that. And that goes all the way back and touches the back end to close it off completely, which I won't want anyway. But then I can bring it along and control the amount of air that's going up into the forge through this pipe. Well, I had a couple of ideas about how to work some kind of a handle or lever by the forge. And I found this old guy. I think this is part of a rotisserie out of a barbecue. I thought I would cut it off and use it as a handle, but that's kind of goofy. And I was going to have the handle drop through the countertop, which makes a certain amount of sense. But when I went back out and took a look at it, and rather than that, I think I want to have it mounted on the side wall of the closet. There's something that I can turn this way. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but I've got an idea. Well, I'm having a real challenge figuring out how to make how to control the flapper from beside the forge. And I had this idea of having it on the side wall of the blacksmith closet as opposed to on the countertop. And then it just has to go up and down. It can be something that kind of rotates this way, and that should be fine. But figuring out how to do that's a challenge, and I need some way to lock it, I think. And I've been cutting pieces and drilling pieces and fitting pieces, and nothing seems to be coming along, so I think I need to take a break. But just before I do, this is the last iteration of the idea. And I'm thinking, right now, if I was to mount this back nut in a piece of wood, if I lock these two together, I could bend this handle up a little bit, shorten it off so it's only a couple inches long, and then I could loosen it off. If this was the piece that had the cable attached to it, I'd have a handle on here of some sort, and I could just rotate it where I wanted it. When I got it there, I could tighten this nut up, and it would stay. I think, you know what? That will work. There's no reason why that won't work. I'm going to sit on this for a little while. I'll come back tomorrow. Well, am I ever glad I took a little bit of time and didn't do this right away, because this, in hindsight, is a really dumb idea. Probably somebody out there saying the same thing. It'd be a lot of work. It wouldn't work very well. So overnight, I came up with another plan. And I think this one's probably going to work better. The idea is there'll be a pivot point down here at the bottom. And this guy is going to have a couple of screws or bolts on each side to squeeze those two plates together. That'll be the friction. The cable will be attached at this end. And then it's just a matter of it. Take this off for now. if it pivots down here, the handle will do this, and that'll give me the travel I need to be able to make the 2.5 inches I need to make the flapper work. So here we go. This is where we are. I've got the 2 little nuts. I carved out the hole in the wood, and I set them in some construction adhesive just to let it harden up. I don't want them to spin. There's no outward pull on it. It's just a matter of I just want them to spin in the wood. And this is the pivot point for the handle. So, and then it's the same thickness as the standoff for the handle itself. And this is the handle. It'll go like this into the pivot point. This screw's long. I will cut it off a little later. And then the second piece goes on. And then I got a couple of wing nuts, which I thought would kind of work well. There, this will be a really quick adjustment if needed. Now the idea is for these 2 pieces to pinch the handle as the handle moves. I can cinch it down tighter or looser. And if they vibrate loose, I'll have to deal with that. I don't think that'll be the case though. And I expect this will be set it and forget it for a lot of it, but I do want to be able to adjust it if necessary. So that's pretty cool. The cable will go here. And on this end, this piece will sit here. The cable will come up. There we are, finished. I think that's going to work. I think it's going to work just fine. Then I can, with these wing nuts, I can tighten it down so it'll be rigid. I think that's going to be okay. All right, time for a test. Here it is. Nice wooden handle. I found I had to do a little more adjusting. It turns out that you have to hold the cable right up against the nut. If there's 4 or 5 inches away, there's too much play and it'll move. Check this out. And then with the wing nut, just that little bit is rigid. That's just working out really well. And if there's too much play, if I find this still works itself loose, I could glue some sandpaper on the inside or something to add a little more friction. That's good. Now check this out. Here's that. Gotta love that. Now I've got the wires connected. I'm just going to put this camera on a tripod and plug it in and see what happens. All right. There's the fan. Lots of air. Oh, tons of air. Look at that. Okay, now. I don't think it's necessary to block it off completely. That's got to be lots of air from my forge there. Now, in terms of actually installing the fan, that'll be unique to your particular situation, how your shed is, location, all the rest of it. So I'm not going to share an awful lot about that, but here's mine finished. It was nice and slick and neat. But once it was all installed, I found the cabling didn't function the way that it did on the workbench. And I think there were 2 issues. One was I had a lot more cable than I needed, so I had it all curled up under the workbench. And I think just traveling around all the corners was causing a lot of friction inside. And also, it seems that all the nuts and bolts I had at each end holding the cable in place on the brackets was eating up some of the travel length. And so I had to find a solution to that. I've rearranged things. I've picked up at least 3/4 of an inch, maybe 7/8 of an inch. I spent a lot of time machining things I didn't need, as it turns out. Now, this is packed with some electrical tape, and I got the plastic clip on it. So in time that may become loose, but I could remake that a lot simpler than I did. This is really slick the way it's working now. And check out the back. Now I've built the box to protect the fan. I didn't share an awful lot about this because it'll be unique to everybody's installation. The important part is you want to have a way for the air to get into the fan unrestricted and a way for the air to get out of the fan that you're diverting unrestricted, so you don't create a lot of static energy backing up the fan. I'm going to cover each of these with some kind of a screen so that birds and squirrels can't get in when I'm not using the forge. But this is just to protect the fan from the weather.
Time to see if this is going to work or not. I've got the fan diverter completely open, so the absolute minimum air is coming through at the moment. Let's get this thing going and see what happens. I'm going to adjust the damper a little bit. There's definitely air coming through there right now, isn't there? Oh, that's a world different. And that's closed off, or almost like that's as much diversion as I can get. There is a lot more air getting into that fire now for sure. It's going to take me a little bit of getting used to. Part of me's thinking it's too much air, but I don't think that's the case. I just have to build my fire a little differently. There'll be a learning curve, but it is certainly a lot better. There's no question about it. This new fan is definitely getting the steel hotter. There's a lot more air going in. Oh boy, look at this. And I have a quenching pail now too, which is a help. I'm trying to upset this piece. Oh, good Lord, this is much better. Holy smolies, that's fantastic. This new fan is going to give me a lot more air, which should give me a lot more heat and make the blacksmithing better. We'll see. That's the next chore. Episode 1 is linked up here. Watch these other videos, and y'all come back.
A little fire burning hot. I love this new fan.